Hey bro, hey sis. So this is for those of us that are in transitional spaces, transitional places in our lives. I think we kind of are always in transition. Some of us have moments of transition that are more evident for us, more frequent. For me, as I believe I'm coming more and more into purpose and realignment of what my mission here is on this planet. These liminal spaces are happening more and more because I am being called to really walk into mission, right? Every time that I try to avoid it, I find a little detour, I find a little delay, a little pause. I'm called more and more to, I have more and more liminal spaces. The gap between liminal spaces and okay, the transition and being in that state of, okay, this is working, and then boom, I have another liminal space because I'm just more and more being told and called to not being able to avoid what my mission is. And for those of us that are transitioning or jumping timelines, I had taken Mariam Hesna's, I was part of her, I had taken a couple of courses of hers from her mystery school, profound, beautiful information, and a couple of years ago, I would say 4 years ago, it was a new concept for me, in terms of learning about what jumping timelines meant, and what it really is a reality. That's what a timeline is. So when you know that you've made certain choices, you've done the active small steps in the co-creation of a certain reality for yourself, let's say finishing school, doing the inner work needed to be able to call in your partner, to call in the career, to call in the abundance, those types of things, doing that, investing in your business, educate, like those types of little steps, those co-creational steps. And then you're in that space of, okay, you've completed that. Now you're waiting. That liminal space of waiting in between transition, in between, okay, now walking into the other timeline, another reality with this thing that you've been investing in and co-creating. Now in this timeline, it being actualized, right? And I think jumping timelines is really uncomfortable because vibrationally, to create a higher timeline, your frequency is shifting. You have to become more expanded and bigger to be able to accommodate the vibration and the energy of the newer timeline. And so I know that for myself, for example, I've done a lot of inner work. Although I probably could fine tune it, but I have to give myself credit that I've done a lot of inner work. I still have so much to do, so much to learn. And I say it humbly that it's just the beginning of the work that I know that I have to do, but I've been uncomfortable a lot. And in doing that, I've been doing the work into creating and calling in a certain reality, right? And so recently, about 2 weeks ago, I went on a trip, and it was the best experience of my life. And I know it was purely high, it was extremely high vibrational, it was perfect, nothing went wrong on the trip. And I came back home. And in the process of coming back home, my vibration for the couple of days that I was on this trip, my vibration was higher, right? And it didn't feel uncomfortable because I had really made and done the work and prepared my vessel to accommodate that level, that high vibration. And so in coming back, now my body kind of was like, what's going on? You're not vibrating at this level anymore. Sorry. And or at that frequency anymore. Although I do believe that my reality now is very high vibrational, I think that I kind of was shook by coming back into this reality. My frequency dipped. And usually I know the reality of that, like the truth of that is, you know, a dip in your vibration, you feel sad, you get depressed, you feel down. And prior to going on this trip, my vibration is frequently high, and so I know my reality is high vibrational and I feel good in my reality. But because I had this timeline jump and then I went back, I was like, what the hell? Anyway, long story short, this is to tell people that it's okay. And what can be daunting is that now you've gone back to this old reality, and it can be discouraging, and you could want to stay in that low vibration. It's easy to kind of get caught up in the low vibrational, denser, sadder reality. So what you have to do is get a grip, talk about it, and be intentional with small actions with how you're going to continue to co-create and to anchor in the higher version, the higher timeline of reality that you experienced. You know, and it was very much like I had a shift just a couple days yesterday about what do I need to do to create that reality, right? Because I was feeling a little bit stuck. I was feeling kind of running in place, a little stagnant in my current reality. But having experienced the higher timeline made me realize, that's where I want to be, in that higher frequency, feeling that freedom. And now coming back into my present timeline, kind of having my feet on both sides of the bank, right? Both sides of the fence. Do I stay kind of on both sides, or what am I doing to get myself over the fence, right? Because yes, you can, manifest all that you want, but there has to be intentional action too behind it. I can't go back to old habits, because guess what? That timeline will slip away. The higher timeline will slip away. I can't go back to old ways of doing things and old thoughts of thinking and so forth. The old version of you has to die so that the version of you that created that timeline, that higher timeline, can come and be rooted and anchored in. That's where you need to get. So when you're in these, and Christians talk about it's backsliding, and many people, religious sects, they talk about the backsliding and the reversion back to, and the reverting back to, and de-evolution and so forth. And that's not the direction. You want to call in that timeline. You want to create that new reality. Keep doing the things that helped bring that reality into the possibility of being experienced. Don't go back to the old version of you. That's the easy way. Because once you've gone to the high, like I said, you've gone to that higher timeline now, and then now you are to go to this, you have to come back to the reality that you're in. You're going to want to go back to that because your vibration has dipped. Don't allow that dip in your vibration to be what dictates whether that timeline becomes a reality for you permanently or not. Give yourself the opportunity. Don't go back. Be intentional. Be purposeful. It's yours. You experienced it. It's a possibility. Trust that. Peace.